The Monster Below, Nightfall by Greenback, read by Deathlight, Chapter 5, To Meet the Moon. My first night in a real bed went well, at least, until I woke up thinking that it was 7, and that I needed to leap from the sheets and get dressed. I was already in my robe and halfway out of my room when I realized it was 3. I tried getting back to sleep, but my mind raced over every possible outcome of meeting the princesses, refusing to quiet down no matter how hard I tried to calm myself. Finally realizing that trying to get any more sleep would only result in me rolling around in bed, I decided to try a hot bath and hope that would calm my wound up nerves. It was the first bath I had taken since leaving Manhattan, and the steaming hot water and the giant bubbles soothed my muscles and did wonders for slowing my train of thought. Not to mention that it felt really good. I must have dozed off again, for when I woke up and dried off my wrinkly skin, the first rays of morning sun were creeping over the horizon, covering the lands below cataloged with a warm blanket of light. And now here I am, with 3 hours to go until I have to be at the palace. Only 3 more hours, and I finally meet Princess Celestia. Throwing on an apron, I cook up a feast of oatmeal, fruit, eggs, and everything needed to fuel somebody for the most important day of their life. There's still plenty of food left over when I'm done eating, so Mom and Dad can join in on the feast as well. I loaded up a few trays, but stopped. What time do they normally wake up? 8, I think. But then again, they travel an awful long time and were up a lot later than normal yesterday. Maybe it'd be better to let them sleep in. Brushing off leftover crumbs, I got dressed, my new coat, fastened my tie, and clipped on my badge. My hooves shake as I smooth the folds of my clothes, wanting to make them as clean as possible. Can't afford to make any bad impressions today. After brushing my mane, I scribble a note letting Mom and Dad know where I am. And then I'm sneaking out the door as quietly as I can. I expect the halls to be empty at this early hour, but there are several other ponies leaving their dwellings as well. Most likely part of the morning shift of the palace. Together, we leave the complex and head through the streets. Everyone around me chats amongst themselves, relaxed, a bit tired, but otherwise looking forward to an uneventful day at work. I'm the odd duck out as I can't stop grinning, and it's a struggle not to break into a run and cover my new coat in sweat stains. All these years of admiring the princesses, and now I'm about to meet them. Okay, calm down. We can be excited, but remember, you're a professional writer, not a fanboy. You're not going to freak out, at least, I hope not. Being in Princess Celestia's presence might make me act in ways even I can't predict. And, oh, who am I kidding? I have the right to be excited. I'm going to see the princesses. Oh my gosh, this is so amazing. I can't wait. I need to. I slap myself, and other ponies glance back. Bug, nasty ones, cause really itchy bites. The others shrug and turn their attention back into the street. I got a feeling that they don't believe me, but they've probably seen other newcomers struggling not to freak out at the idea of meeting the rulers of all of Equestria. Have any of them ever fainted or ever had a heart attack when they finally do so? I hope not, because the only other ponies I'd be seeing are the doctors, not the princesses. We finally reach the stairs, and then the bridge leading to the palace itself. Other staff members are checked, one by one. I'm at the back of the line, my heart pounds as I reach the bridge. One of the guards scanned me to ensure I'm not a changeling, while the second checks my card against the roster of names. Mr. Silverspeak, please stand to the side. Oh, Buck, what did I do? They gave me the wrong badge, didn't they? Oh, Celestia, what am I take a deep breath. I'm sorry? You're to be escorted into the palace. He indicates for me to stand next to the bridge. I quickly do so, trying to discreetly wipe the sweat away. This is probably just a formality they give to all the new members. After all, what better way to impress them than to have guards escort them into the throne room? So if I speak? I turn as a royal guard comes up to me. Yes? Please, follow me. I start to do so, then stop. Is something wrong? No offense, ma'am, but the last royal guard I followed was a parasite who wanted to suck me dry. If she was offended, the guard didn't show it. Instead, she goes up to the closest unicorn, taps him on the shoulder, and asks him for a scan. He does so. The spell remains green throughout. Your concern is reasonable, the guard says as she comes back. Now please, follow me. The guard leads the way through the gate into the palace. It's quiet at this hour, with most ponies helping themselves to a hearty breakfast at the cafeteria. Though there are numerous ponies carrying breakfast trays through the halls, most likely to those who can't leave their posts. We take a different route than yesterday, going through the new hallways and chambers, all filled with the palace's framed stainless glass windows, each depicting a historical moment in Equestria's history. I wonder there's one depicting the bears defeating Magus and myself in Manhattan. We head deeper into the palace, and I get the strangest feeling of dread and anticipation. And why wouldn't I? The moment I've been waiting all my life for is minutes, perhaps seconds away. I can see it now. We come to the famous double doors that lead into the throne room. The guard will open them, and I walk inside to find the princesses on their thrones, both tall and proud, and warmly welcoming me into the palace. I hold on to that dream as strongly as I can, letting it guide me as I take one step after another, getting closer and closer until we're finally there. Before me are those famous double gates so many have walked through, both commoner and royalty alike. Beyond lies the most famous room in all of Equestria, and the location of so many famous events, from weddings to assaults to the most important royal decrees ever given. I straighten my tie and try to stop from shaking. In just a few seconds, I'll be standing before Celestia herself. It's one thing to dream such a moment, but something else to actually have it come true. What do you say? What do you do? And more importantly, how do you keep from acting the fool? I don't know, but perhaps all I can do is just go in there, treat the princesses with respect, and enjoy the experience. Taking several deep breaths, wait, why is the guard heading right? That's not where we're supposed to go. Excuse me, but are we going to the throne room? The guard shakes her head and indicates for me to follow her as she heads off once again. For an agonizing moment, I'm tempted to ignore her and head through those doors. The only thing separating me from the one pony I looked up to more than anyone else. The guard glares at me, impatient to get going. I stare at the doors and turn away with a heavy heart. There has to be a reason I'm being guided away from the throne room, and I don't want to be tackled by several guards if I charge into anyways. That's not how I want my first meeting with Celestia to go. The guard continues on, leading me out of the palace's fancy hallways and into a series of smaller, more Spartan halls made from grey stone. Though not cold or unpleasant to be in, it's clear this place is not meant to be visited by the public. Oh, please, don't let my office be some dinky closet down here. We reach a door flanked by two guards. They check my papers, unlock the door with their magic, and join us in heading down the steep staircase. The door behind us swings shut and locks with a loud click. The steep shaft stops at a locked door, one too ornate and elegant to lead into a squalid, moldy dungeon. It opens, revealing a golden elevator built into a shaft of polished stone. We get in, and it begins to descend deep into the earth. The well-oiled gears and mechanisms work flawlessly as we ride down a good 5 minutes. This is so strange. Just what's down here? The elevator comes to a stop and opens up to reveal another hallway of sparkling stone and a door built of reflective brass. The torches flicker as the guards take their position on both sides of the door. "We will wait for you here," my escort says. The guard's horns light up and the doors glide open. It takes everything I have to keep from gasping. The passage beyond is formed from crystal, golden crystal to be precise, and ones that glow from within as if lit by miniature suns. The light dancing off the walls as I enter. Blue, white, purple, red, and green crystals are common throughout Equestria, but golden crystals are so rare that none are thought to exist anymore. I touch the wall and the light spreads away from my hoof. Oh, that is amazing! I could spend hours, no, days in here, marveling at the beauty surrounding me. And I would, if not for another set of brass doors at the end. They soundlessly glide open at my approach, granting me access to the room beyond. I thought nothing could top the beauty of the Golden Hall, but I was wrong. The chamber before me isn't a room, it's a cathedral of blue and gold marble, softly lit by several chandeliers, with a back wall of spotlessly clear glass. What is this? A place of worship? Something left over from Equestria's early days? Something else? I head to the windows and look out to a view of a massive cavern filled with countless waterfalls that plunge into an abyss below me. The water sparkles and shines as it goes, reflecting the glow of thousands of crystals jutting from the ceiling. Yet the thunder of roaring water is silent through the glass. This place is so quiet and peaceful. This is a perfect place for a pony seeking peace and stillness from the busy and chaotic life above. Perhaps this is some sort of retreat for the palace staff who want to get away from their day-to-day duties. But no, that couldn't be. The path down is too well guarded, and it's unlikely the janitor could walk down here if his heart desired it. But if ordinary ponies are unlikely to come down here, then that means only few could, those few being. Greetings, Silverspeak. I've heard that voice before, and even talked with its owner face to face long ago. But the passage of time doesn't lessen its power, or the instinctual need to bow. I turn to do so, keeping my face to the ground. A hoof comes into my vision, the blue skin and crystal horseshoes matching the carpet. "You may rise." Taking a deep breath, I stand and look into the face of Princess Luna. She's just like I remember her the last time we met, untouched by the passage of time. I bow my head ever so slightly. "It's an honor to meet you again, Your Majesty." Luna smiles. "I am glad that it is under more pleasant circumstances." I nod, pleased that I'm managing to keep myself together. Having met Luna before, it's easy not to freak out. But will I be able to do so if the other princess arrives? I glance about as tactfully as I can. "If you're searching for my sister, I'm afraid she's not here." My heart sinks. But the letter I got told me, "I'm afraid that things have changed since it was sent." Luna's horn glows and the massive doors silently close. I apologize for bringing you down here, but the events of the past few days have made secrecy a necessity. if you don't mind me asking, Your Highness, where exactly are we? Luna smiles again. You're in the Alicorn Sanctuary. It is where my sister and I have retreated for rejuvenation when we need it. It is a private space and a place that few have ever seen. If I could beam, I'd outshine every candle in Camelot. Those who do come here, however, usually only do so in dark times, much like you have, so to speak. My euphoria fades. What I'm about to tell you must never leave this room. For if we were to escape into the general population, the resulting panic would undermine our efforts to keep everyone safe. Luna's horn lights up, and the several crystals embedded in the walls emit a faint glow. I recognize them. They're the same type Beatbreaker used to prevent eavesdropping after Mangus broke in to Metacomp HQ. But these are bigger and much more powerful. You came here to learn about your new job. In different circumstances, I would have gave you the one my sister and I promised. But the changeling attack has forced me to offer you a different task. One that puts your skills and talents to greater use than writing announcements and speeches. She walks to a nearby pool, and I quickly fall behind her. The world has changed since you left Metacomp 2 years ago. The limbs Metacomp produced set off a firestorm of conspiracy and competition. Other companies began their own attempts at limb replacements, but all of them failed for one reason or another, except one. Rowan lights up, and a magical hologram of a skyscraper hovers over the water. Big and fancy, no different from other business towers in Metacomp, except for the strange metallic decorations on the outside. The company is called Tech Inc., and is producing their own limbs with the most advanced technology available. Metacomp uses technology as well, or are they out of business? Metacomp is still operating, though they are no longer the dominant player in the field of medical prosthetics. They use genetics and organic tissue to create limbs and minor organs, but Tech Inc. has overtaken them, for they have focused on something that cannot be biologically rejected: limbs of metal and steel. The image shifts, the skyscraper is replaced with a pony's leg. But it's not like any leg I've seen. It's made of metal with rods, pistons, entirely coiled wire that's half covered with ordinary looking skin. At the moment, Tech Inc. can only create legs, but it's only a matter of time before they begin research on other limbs. But that's not the only thing they can create. They're using their technology to craft all manners of devices, refrigeration and heating units that do not require magic to work, buildings built of metal instead of stone and rock, and energy units that give power to millions. A barrage of images shoot past me, showing stoves and refrigerators, along with all manners of buildings, devices, and even a lamppost identical to one I saw yesterday, but it's powered by some sort of battery instead of candles. How are such things possible? Luna watches the display. Our society is changing, so to speak. We are now entering an age of technology. It hasn't arrived yet, but you can see it on the horizon. I keep watching the images, trying to make sense of all the gadgets and gizmos. And is the change good or bad? The images vanish as quickly as they appear. We have no way of knowing. I want to see more of these devices and changes, but Luna's clearly been building up to something, and my curiosity demands answers. Your Highness, what exactly does all this have to do with me? Rumors have grown that Tech Inc. is currently working on several secret projects. Many believe they are working on wings and horns, but I believe they might be using their technology for a more dangerous purpose. Why do you believe that? Luna sighs. My sister and I have seen it before. Whenever a new company or a group have come up with a new technology, there will be those who want to use that technology for selfish reasons. and others are inevitably hurt. I do not like to believe the worst, but I fear Tech Inc. will do the same thing, and that is where you come in. I tilt my head, curious. Silver speak, I want you to go to Tech Inc. headquarters and find out exactly what they're working on, and if their rumors have any merit. Her own lights up once more, and a very small display appears over the water, revealing, well, it looks like an enormous orb built of steel and glass flying through the sky, shoving clouds aside as it moves along. This is the headquarters of Tech Inc., which they dubbed Genesis. It is a secretive place. They don't allow visitors for most of the year, but we do know that it serves as the company's base of operations. It houses the research facilities, factories, and living quarters for those who stay on board. I study the image. For a place that doesn't want anyone coming in, it doesn't look very intimidating. I would have expected to see weapon encampments scattered throughout the city, walls lined with wire, and I don't know, Dragon's Cave on top of the towers or something. You will be my eyes and ears, inspecting the city from top to bottom to see what Tech Inc. is working on, and to ensure they're not hiding weapons. And as an official envoy for my sister and I, you will have access to any and all areas that would otherwise have been blocked off. Once you have completed your searches, you will report your findings to me. That's it? Luna nods. If there are weapons, I would dispatch the appropriate agents to deal with them. It is one thing to create tools for defense, but if they are building weapons that could harm thousands, they must be stopped. I study the image a bit longer. How long would I be there? I can't say. It could be a few days, a few weeks, or even a few months. Tech Inc. is notoriously secretive when it comes to the things not on the markets, and I may have additional duties for you to perform. Of course, you would have additional compensation for such work, after you will initially be paid. This sounds like an easy enough task, and considerably more interesting than writing speeches. Investigate the floating headquarters of a secretive company. Report back to the princess, let others take care of the fallout, if there is any. Easy bits, so to speak. And yet, would it really be? A company that shuts itself off from the rest of the world and refuses to let anyone in isn't likely the friendliest of places. Your Highness, why ask me to go? Why not someone else with more experience and diplomatic skills? Luna is silent for a moment. Her horn lights up once again, and the image of a tiny town appears between us. Are you familiar with this place, Silver Speak? I study the image. No, I'm not. It is our most remote outpost on the Equestrian border. It was attacked by changelings a week ago. What does the public think? They don't know what happened. The word sink in, one of Celestia's and Luna's polices, has always been as open and as honest with Equestria as possible. Why would they hide something like this? The attack on Counterlot, did the changelings use what they had learned to try to take over? Luna shakes her head. No, we were able to capture a changeling, and while we were interrogating it, it told us that the attack was a raid. There is suffering from a severe food shortage, and they're now desperate for subsistence, with some going so far to actually try and suck the emotions from the ponies with physical contact. Part of the raid was to capture ponies for food, but also see how strong our defenses were. The princess's face sags a little, but it gets worse. Not only are the changelings testing our defenses, but they're also infiltrating Equestria as we speak. It feels like my heart stops for a moment. What? The changeling we've captured have told us that others have infiltrated every level of society, and have been doing so for months. My sister and I have already dispatched our best agents to find them, but it won't be easy. And for all we know, even more changelings are seeking into Equestria every day. Changelings in Equestria and in every settlement? What are there some in Kennerlots? What are there in the palace? What are there in my apartment complex? Where are they? We don't know, and at this point, we only have rumors to go on. A map of Equestria comes into view, peppered with red circles. These are the areas where we have unconfirmed sightings. There were circles where I expect to see them. Kennerlot, Manhattan, Ponyville, Applewood, and many other big cities and communities. But there are numerous smaller ones as well, towns I've never heard of. But what if the changeling is lying? Perhaps it's trying to distract you from something else. Luna shakes her head. We used the same spell to read its mind that we used on you and Mangus. It was telling the truth. The princess goes to the windows. I follow beside her. The changelings had diminished in recent years. I had hoped the numbers were too small to pose a threat. But it now appears that they've been regrouping and rebuilding, something only a strong leader can accomplish. I shudder. Changeling society, as far as is known, has only ever had one monarch, and she leads with a ruthlessness that few can match. Her name is spoken only in hushed whispers, for she is only of the few who have ever defeated Princess Celestia in personal combats. Her name is normally used to frighten fools into behaving, including myself, and only Nightmare Moon was more feared than her. Does that mean that? Yes, Silver Speak. I fear that Queen Chrysalis is moving against us once again. Are you sure? Her last attack was decades ago. She must be dead by now, especially if the changelings are starving. I wouldn't be too sure. Changeling monarchs can live for hundreds of years, and time spent in hibernation would extend that even further. Considering her defeat, she'd be willing to invest decades to prepare for revenge, and to ensure her attack would succeed. The chance to both get revenge and to save her species would be too great to pass up. She might have heard of ticking and made a deal with them to gain weapons. If she has, we must know. If this is so important, Your Highness, why not have the bearers go? In fact, why can't they just go into the land of the changelings and stop Chrysalis? They departed last night to do exactly that. My sister has gone with them to the Waste to negotiate a peaceful resolution to this crisis. But if they fail, it is my responsibility to ensure Equestria's safety and to protect it from any threats. She looks to me. Silver Speak, you may be the most qualified of all the ponies to fulfill this task. You know how far someone can go to accomplish their dream, whether it be to better themselves or to dominate others, and Chrysalis, I fear, will stop at nothing. A thought comes to me, one with logic I can't ignore. The princess might want me for my experience in how individuals can be assessed in getting what they want. But that knowledge won't be of any real use in inspecting Genesis. I would need something else. Your Highness, is there some other reason you want me? Luna didn't answer. I tried to read her face, but she hides her emotions perfectly. You want me to use my talent to persuade Tekking to tell me everything? Luna nods. With all due respect, Your Highness, I've had my fill of manipulating ponies to get what I want. I don't want to go down that path again, and I hope you don't have to, Luna says. But if the time comes, you may have to. But only if you go. If you do not wish to become involved in this, I understand. But how could I not become involved? If Chrysalis is drawing the changelings, testing our defenses, sneaking into cities and society itself, then she must be preparing for war. I've seen firsthand what changelings would do if they catch a pony. And who's to say that changelings still lurk within counterlots, slowly taking over and impersonating anyone they snatch off the streets. I can't risk having my parents become some of their victims. But neither can I just send them back to Satalanka. What if there are changeling agents already hidden there, looking to go after the city's legendary crystals? If we do not act, the changelings will spread across Equestria, weakening it until we're powerless to stop an invasion. And if that time comes, I will look back and realize I could have helped to prevent it. I can't stand aside for this, experience or not. I have to do something. And Celestia, she would do the same. She would do anything to save those she cares about. I'll do it, Your Highness. Luna's frown becomes a smile. Excellent. She heads towards the exit. You leave today, taking only last guests during the annual science convention. It begins tomorrow. I want you to arrive before the venues and guests. You'll need a pack of change of clothes. I will have made arrangements for your lodging and food. Princess Luna would do that for me? Having a princess as an ally and a friend could have its advantages. Maybe there's one other thing she could do. Your Highness, if I may ask, can I bring my parents with me on this trip? After what you told me, I'd feel safer knowing they're close to me so I can keep an eye on them. Luna considers my question for a long moment. I gulp. Very well, they may go. But they will not be able to join you in your investigations. Nor are you to tell them anything I have revealed to you. Is that understood? I nod, but Luna's not done. And with regards to your talent, while it's my greatest hope, they don't have to use it. There may come a time where you have to in order to learn the truth. Your gift is great, but it can create pain and sorrow as easily as it can be used to help others. Because of that, you will only use it with my approval. She glares at me. Is that understood? I struggle not to shake as I nod. I've seen Luna face down Manga's blue horn without breaking a sweat. And I've seen her disappointed, but this scares me. But how am I supposed to ask? I say, trying to change the subject. I will give you a tool to help you accomplish that. We head to the doors, and the princess swings them open. Gather your parents and belongings. I will dispatch a carriage to take you to the airfield in 2 hours. Time is short, and we must move quickly. I nod and make my way into the hall. Silver speak? I stop and turn. Yes, Your Highness? Thank you for accepting this assignment. I nod and leave the sanctuary, make my way back into the elevator while feeling weak-kneed. The magnitude of what I've agreed to hasn't fully kicked in yet. But at the moment, I didn't care. Why? Because I got a compliment from the Princess of the Night. How many other ponies can say they received such an incredible gift? I grin. Probably few. Luna's tone left no doubt there was no time to waste. As difficult as it is, I leave the palace as quickly as I can to reach the main halls. It's tempting to linger and see all the beautiful things the palace has to offer, but there simply isn't time. I return to the apartment complex. I went out to break the news to my parents that we're going on a trip. They'll probably be baffled that we're only here for a day. But upon learning that it's based on the orders of Princess Luna, I don't think they'll raise a fuss. Reaching my apartment, I open the door and sneak inside as quietly as I can. Hopefully, they're still asleep and I can catch another half-hour of shut-eye before... Silver speak? Is that you? Mom enters the room, wearing an apron and has a skillet of eggs and hoof. What are you doing home so early? She cringes, the bags under her eyes wrinkling up even more. Did the interview not go well? Please tell me that it went well. Actually, it did, but I'll explain later. I cut through the living room on my way to the bedroom. Dad's eating his own breakfast at the table, with his own matching set of dark bags under his eyes. Hey kiddo, what's got you so charged up? He asks. Don't tell me that the princesses threw you out. Entering my room, I open my shelves and pull out what few clothes I have. No, I just got a new job that takes place outside the city. and I have to leave in an hour or two. I'd like the two of you to come with me. Dad's as surprised as I expected. What? But we just got here. I tossed my clothes into a suitcase. Trust me, you'll like this. Mom peeks inside. The only reason you leave is if something big was happening. I closed the suitcase. Yes, you could say that.